Hey, hello to our beautiful Monday night faithful. So glad that you're joining the dialogue tonight. We're a little late starting, but hey, we still got a lot of content to get through and a lot of stuff. Now, it's a hot button Monday. Hot button does not work unless you're pressing that button and it becomes hot because it's many of y'all pressing it, okay? Hot button Monday. So text, tag, tell all that the dialogue is on. We got a full show for you tonight. Though it's hot button Monday, but hot button does not work without you. Hop on and join us in the show tonight. Listen, before we open tonight, I'm going to be off script for a minute. Uh, a lot of people are dealing with the ramifications of last week's Supreme Court decision. And then after the decision, all of these local states, primarily southern states and red states like, Missouri and states like that, that have who traditionally vote red, governors are now pausing the election cycle so that they can even redraw their districts again, giving a further advantage to the majority population, currently the majority population. I guess I want to do two things with this. If it's possible, I want to appeal to good-hearted people of all race, religions, creeds, and kinds. The 1964 Voter Rights Act was put into place so that the disparity was shortened between, primarily at that time, Black people in southern states and other states. It was looked at as a landmark decision because it gave us a chance to live out more faithfully to the tenets of the U.S. Constitution. 60 years later, well, 57 years later, the assault started. 56 years, the assault started. And when that assault started on through the Supreme Court, it left some people in suspense. Many of us knew that there would not be suspense because once Article 2 of that amendment was stricken down, which did happen last week, then that meant that African Americans and other minorities would be tremendously, their opportunities to occupy office, they have a strong say in districting, that would be reduced on a seismic level. I'm appealing to people of good hearts to say, is that what we want in our country? We know Washington, D.C., we know Project 2025, we know this cast of characters who are in charge, who's influencing a narcissistic president. We know what they want. But is this what the majority of the country wants? The polls say not. But it takes more than a couple of No King's Day rallies to stop it. That means, and so the second part of that is, and I'm speaking to African Americans, Hispanics, Latinos. You got to register. They made that hard to do. You got to register to vote. You got to push a little harder. If grandmama was standing in the lines at the polls in sweltering heat, if she'll stand in that line for 3 hours and now you can't give her a cup of water, then the least we can do is go down to a supervisory elections office and register to vote. As of January the 1st, voting, third parties will not be able to carry around voter registration forms for you to register because it has to be witnessed by an officer of the supervisory elections office. And unless they come out and do it, it won't be, your registration will not be validated. We've got to vote. That's how we've ever gotten anywhere in this country. I mean, anybody. The people who are in control now, they maintain voting. They continue to register under different rules. They continue to register people to vote. But they kept on because they knew what the stakes were. And they kept fighting and they kept pushing. And now our state, Florida, is no longer a purple state, is a solid red state. And so what it has done is it allowed for every power grab, for every injustice, for every lack of compassion, All of these things have become prominent in our state and other states, primarily southern states. So I'm appealing to people of good hearts. The only way that this will be overcome is at the ballot box. I'm not going to use this forum to advocate any other fashion. We know that's a tried and true method. 2008, 2012, we proved that. We've got to go out and register and vote like we never have before. And you know what? We have to vote knowing likely that we won't see this change, the reverse of this tide, and maybe democracy, the fight for democracy taking a turn back for the well. We may not see that again in our lifetimes. But just like we put monies aside, just like we put properties aside, we have inheritance. This is just as important for our young people. We've got to fight. We've got to fight primarily at the ballot box. Please, ma'am, please, sir, don't let an opportunity go by to register to vote and to follow through and vote and to advocate with others. That's how we're going to turn around the Supreme. It's no sense in us being surprised at that 6 on the court, and of the 6, there's one who has never, ever, ever. He was selected to the court in the first President Bush's administration in 1980. What was he? Yeah, 1989 to 92. He was put on the court. And I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, Justice Thomas. If he sticks around, this administration will put somebody else just like him. I can't imagine anybody else being that. I don't want to use language, but I can't imagine somebody being as anti-black as this guy is. That's the nicest way I can say it. A black man, supposedly. We understand the others, but him. So what I'm asking, please, ma'am, please, sir, register, vote. Register right now so that you can vote in the primaries, in these upcoming primaries, and in the general elections. We got to get governors in office. We got to get state legislatures in office. We got to get city councilmen in office, mayors in office, and we've got to get United States congressmen. I heard, and I don't know how true this is, that at the rate that we're going, there will not be any black congressmen in the next Congress that is elected in November of this year. How tragic is that? How tragic is that? We've got to vote. And I'm appealing to every Floridian. I'm appealing to my Latino brothers and sisters. For whatever reason, you grew up in households that always voted to the party that's currently in power. Maybe it was the Cuban, the Bay of Pigs incident. That's what I'm told. But we live in a different era. We live in an era where there's a group of people who does not care. All they want is power, and they put their feet on anybody exerting that power. And we are the ones who suffer as a result. So I'm begging you, please register and please vote. Let me look at some of the comments before I move on. Yeah, President, we know it's money. It's money, but it's also about power. It's not just about money. It's about power. Because if you got power, you can make money. That's what they're showing now. You got power, so you got a president who can go over to Saudi Arabia and make a deal where he becomes a billionaire all over again because this Congress won't put the constraints on him that's supposed to be over a president. So that's what power is, to silence a whole body of government. The legislative branch is just mute. And if we don't go out and elect and vote in numbers and in droves to overcome the power of this redistricting, we'll be back at it another 2 years in November, and God have mercy on us. Yeah, look at the brainwash. Look at this brainwashed liberal. Okay, Glenn Benton, I'm a brainwashed liberal. What are you? a right-wing conservative zealot? Just asking. Just asking. All right, let's get on with the script, guys. The dialogue is gonna maintain its professionalism, but I'm asking you, you got to get out and vote. Okay. So the big news today internationally, I saw this about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. There was some shooting going on in the Strait of Hormuz because apparently Iranian ships were trying to prevent other ships from getting through the straits. The straits where we have a blockade, which is supposed to outdo the blockade by the Iranians now, and we're supposed to be safeguarding ships through the channel, and we're doing this after two threats have been made, and we made two ultimatums about a deal, and that just continues to go on and on and on. So supposedly, and put the post up, please, ma'am. Supposedly, the president was overheard saying, well, no, this is the president said he would blow Iran off the face of the earth if they target any U.S. ships. We've heard threats before. We've seen them not carried out. We've seen what is it, Taco? He always chickens out. I don't want to call his name. Okay, that's what happens. So the ongoing U.S. Navy blockade, he has called on the Project Freedom. He said the ongoing blockade is one of the greatest military maneuvers ever done. Well, if it is, it's sure not getting a lot of ships through the straits. We still got high oil prices. It hadn't helped the world's economy. It's still the economy is still strangleholded. And what gets me, and it has gotten me since the election of 2024, is that we know what a narcissist, untruthful, and all of that our president has proven to be now in 2 terms. It's to the point now that you don't even listen to what he says, because it doesn't matter, because it has no integrity, no truth behind it. What's really unreal is that there is a strong segment of anytime you got 32% of the people that just stand by you no matter what you do. That's scary. That's absolutely scary. And so what are we going to do about this blockade? This failed blockade. We're over there playing shoot 'em up with them. What's next? That's Iranian territory, by the way. That's not U.S. territory. Those are not international waters. That's Iranian territory. That's likening to them coming here and shutting down parts of the Mississippi River, all because we failed with the supposedly chief negotiator. Where is the poster for this? Thank you. The chief negotiator is unable to effect a deal with them and to obtain a ceasefire in this war, where the original objective was to go over and shut down their nuclear program. We run out of sorties almost. We got missiles of $1 million a piece. We've exposed ourselves militarily, and everything is still in place. Nothing has changed. One man was killed, and his son, who has the same theocratic mindset, and his followers are in place. And this president does not even know, this administration does not even know who they are communicating with. That's why he won't send anybody over there. He says it's a waste of time. We can do this over the phone, because you don't know who you're dealing with. A person who does not value intelligence, military intelligence, who does not value these types of things. Oh, boy. So this is where we are. A couple of weeks ago, we heard him say a whole civilization will die. You can only threaten a person so many times, and particularly when you're dealing with people who do suicide bombings and that kind of things. You threatening them is going to lose its effectiveness. Let's move on to the Senate housing bill that was passed, by the way, bipartisanly, by a bipartisan vote, 90-10, if I'm correct. This president opposes it because it's got provisions in the bill that requires institutional lenders to sell off single-family homes that were built for the purpose of rentals after 7 years, and he does not align with he does not align with the focus on housing priorities. Well, let's just take a second and dissect that. If you don't align with housing priorities, what is the largest budget item in most of our budgets today? Is it not housing, whether you're renting or purchasing? We're not talking about the $5, $6, $7 average we're paying at the gas pump. We're not talking about the prices that are spiraling at the grocery store. The $40 that used to could get us through a few days before this war, before this administration, won't even get us a night's meal hardly now. Maybe I just eat too much, okay? All right, but this is what he's doing. So let's look at some of his things. He says it's the disposition requirement that he's against. Now, supposedly, he was overheard saying, and this is what bothers me. He was supposedly overheard saying, I don't give a blank, explicative with the S, I don't give a blank about housing. That's consistent with him saying that it does not align with his economic priorities of the day. Because you're staying in a house that the people bought. You're staying in a club that you own and can pay for many times over because of the deals that you made with foreign countries and the oil that you're trying to take as president of the United States. But your Q citizen, one of that 32% who votes for you, you can darn sure believe they're dealing with it. And another ramification is that he says it's not his promise, his priority. He's focused on other economic policy, like from the big beautiful bill. So what are you trying to get more money for billionaires? What's wrong? Is it not happening fast enough? Where's my boy who said that I'm a brainwashed liberal? What do you got to say about that? Respond. Keyboard cowboy, go ahead and respond to that. Okay. And then he says another reason he doesn't give a blink about housing bill, which affects all Americans, is because he's saying that he's not going to deal with that until Congress deals with the SAVE Act, the Save America Act, which is a further extension of what this governor just did in Florida and many others have done and are doing and are now going to make even worse since the Supreme Court's decision came down. He wants that on the federal level. And don't give me that about all people have to do is have an ID. I guarantee you there's somebody in all of your families who would have a difficulty getting ID to meet the ridiculous criteria that they have set forth. You put more laws on this, where in this state, not even 3% of voting fraud was able to be even suspected, not verified, but suspected. And of that 3%, it came from the dominant party because of snowbirds who came down here and voted twice. But gun laws, we can walk around like the Wild Wild West with guns on our side. Thank God you're seeing businesses that says no open carrying here. You never know what some clown is carrying on his leg or on his side, on his chest. You never know that anymore. You just have to, ask the Lord to give you strength not to say the wrong thing to anybody anymore, because it's just that crazy. This is what we're living at. This is what he wants to SAVE Act so he can impose further restriction on voters' rights. I need to hear from you out there. This is a complete, okay, it's BS. I don't know where he says it's BS coming from the perspective of what they're doing or what we're experiencing. I don't understand. I wish Tim B 7762. I wish you step forth and speak more on that. Now, goodness knows I'm trying to get over quickly and have some fun and talk about some fun stuff. But this one strikes closer to home. On Saturday, Spirit Airlines shut down. Spirit shut down. And what the government was imposing on them is they went to the government seeking a bailout possibility. The government wanted 90% equity stake into their corporation. 90% equity stake in their corporation, which basically the government will own. And in exchange, you're going to hold off their creditors. Government owns. That's not a bailout. A bailout is an assistant so that a private company can recover and have an opportunity to make it. You just bail out billionaires in this nation. You just cut their taxes ridiculously low. And don't give me that when billionaires' taxes are cut, then it trickles down to the private section. We've been waiting from the trickle down effect of the Reagan tax cuts of the 1980s. He just wasn't as bold as this group is. But this is what you do. So here are the ramifications. We live right here. Dania is just 7-8 miles from where I'm sitting right now, Dania Beach, Florida, which is the home of Spirit Airlines. And am I a fan of Spirit? No, I got long legs. I can't sit crunched up like they crunched you up. But most people could. I'm an anomaly. I'm on the outlines of that. And I'm about American corporations succeeding, because when one shut down, a threat to one is a threat to all. So some of the things that it has done is that it caused passenger chaos. We were watching the scrambling on local TV the other day. People scrambling that were looking to get back home Saturday. Thankfully, other airlines kicked in and worked out deals and tried to get them. And I don't know, hopefully everybody's home for what happened. One man was getting ready to take his last flight. Thankfully, a competitive airline gave him a last flight and flew him to his home. His home, and at that airport, they gave him props for his career, even with the competitor. There's a shift in the industry. A loss of any low carrier emboldens or gives opportunities to the regular ones to just escalate their price. Now, remember, prices are escalating naturally because of the oil prices that are brought on by this war that has not been declared, and that Congress does not have the wherewithal to force the administration to take a further stance on that. Job insecurity, 17,000 people with one decision lost their jobs. And you can say that, okay, companies need to run well, they need to run efficiently. Yeah, that's always, but the government has always, what would happen if we didn't bail out the auto industry? Germany and Japan, other places would run this industry. You think they have a stronghold now, they will own the industry. They will own the industry without having to make any concessions about factories and everything being here, because they would be the only show in town. And that's what you would, in essence, done to the airline industry. Now, in all fairness, it was the previous administration that didn't allow the merger with JetBlue. It was the previous administration who didn't allow the merger with JetBlue. But when push came to shove, and we needed to save the auto industry, Presidents Bush and Obama came together, and now the auto industry is now making it. And that's what should have been done for budget airlines. But that's where we are. That's who we are, and that's what we do. Listen, let's go to break. I'll be right back. telling you all of your digital needs, go Giga X, they got them for you. They got you covered. Then they do a good job covering you. And go on and check them out. You'll find out that they'll meet your prices. They're not just competitive. Their prices are more than fair. They're economical. And their prices has nothing to do with the quality of their work. Go Giga X. Check them out right now, would you? All right. I've already talked about please vote. Please vote. And it's not enough for you to vote. Make sure everybody in your bloodline that you can contact and have influence over, every friend's children, every friend's child, make sure they're registered to vote. At age 16 in this state, you register, you pre-register, that at age 18, you're automatically registered to vote. Please make sure that that happens. The stakes are too high. The stakes are higher than they've been in most of our lifetimes. You gotta register to do that. And along with that, I would ask you to go back and look at the voters' right, the tenets of the Voters' Rights Act of 1964. Go back and look at the tenets and see what has been lost and see what guarantees have been stripped away and see how disproportionate voting along race and along parties will now be because of the party that's in power that has drawn the lines and has stacked the Supreme Court, who has stripped those gains that were made in 1964. Please go back and read the tenets of the Voters' Rights Act and see for yourself. Look, I want to do Are You Serious today? I got to do something to kind of get out of this mood and to smile a little bit. But I'm not going to smile, but about this I'm not. But on Truth Social, oh boy, and I can't see it, so let me open up my version of it. On Truth Social, yesterday I think it was. This is Are You Serious? But it's also our look at Orange Madness tonight. This is our look at Orange Madness, and this is what we're looking. Okay, now I cannot find my version of it. Let me go back over to okay. Look at what was written in a nation. I guess I'm being contradictory. So Dozie, are you serious? You're even taking the time to deal with this when you know how narcissistic the author of this post is? Well, it's not really for him, but it's for his followers. Are you serious that you continue to support this? You refer to Giuliani as a true warrior, but you've abandoned him. You don't even mention him. You have distanced yourself from him after all of the lawsuits that went down. And if the Attorney General's office had moved faster, he would have been gone. I mean, you would have been in prison, and he would have maybe likely also. He has been sued. That suit has been, those suits have been held up in the state of Georgia, and he has lost many of his prized possessions because of the untruths that he told. Oh my goodness, if we could get some of these courts to stop stalling around with you. Are you serious? He says he's the best mayor in the history of New York City. We'll give you a chance. We'll put that up for debate. But by far, I don't think so. Here's where it gets crazy, though. He says that what a tragedy. He's been treated so badly by the radical left lunatics. Well, let me say this to you, Orange Madness. During the previous administration, you did not have the partisan stacking of the Department of Justice or the court system like we have now. I understand that's the effects of that. These are the effects of elections, and that's why I'm appealing to our people to vote. But are you serious with all of these Kash Patel and the people he's appointed, the people he's removed because they had some integrity, and you're saying that they're all radical left lunatics? Are you serious? Democrats, all. He was right about everything. You can honestly put that in writing. Are you serious? Tell us what he was right about. Tell us. Okay, he was strong on what transpired on in January 9/11. He was very strong on that. Kudos. President Bush even was strong on that. Kudos. Thank you. But that was just doing what a mayor should do. He was right about it, and he was right about everything. I guess if he was right, I guess you've never been wrong. Well, that's narcissistic. Are you serious? He cheated. They cheated on the elections, fabricated hundreds of stories, and did anything possible to destroy our nation. And now look at him. So sad. Are you serious? Can you really say that in print? I can't deal with it anymore. I can't look at it anymore. I can't look at that. I hope my buddy early is looking at Truth Social. Yes, he has, David. He has lost all his homes. He has. Madman and a crook. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if that's my friend Lord, but that's absolutely the truth. Oh, he was a fabulous mayor. Okay, Tammy. Tell me something fabulous that he did outside of doing what every American who had the ability to step up and try to help this nation recover after 9/11. He did it locally. Tell me what else he did that was so fabulous. Tell me what he did post his. He ran for president. He did not win. He didn't even qualify. He was shot down, so he joined the troops. He couldn't have an official position. He was like the standby private attorney for that president. And then when the lawsuits went down and he was sued and the suits lost in the appeals, that president dished him like old newspaper. But tell me what he did. What was he? How fabulous was he? Define that. I'd like to know. No problem. Just please show me. Tell me. Let me know. Let me know. All right. So the NBA playoffs have moved to the semifinal round. Right now, Philly is at the end of the first quarter. New York's leading Philly 33 to 25. That is going to be one heck of an intriguing. That's going to be one intriguing series. I heard a lot of discussion about that today on sports TV, and one of the things that likely came out of that was that this is likely going to be a 7-game series, and I would not doubt that at all. But let's go back to the previous series. You know, the Knickerbockers are the only team of the 8 remaining teams, the round of 8. They are the only team that didn't have to play a game. Well, no, they did not. They're the only team in the East that didn't have to play a game 7. They're the only team in the East that didn't have to play a game 7. The Pistons had to play one. They came from behind because the Magic offered it up on a plate when they lost Thursday night to them after blowing a 24-point lead in the third quarter and going up to Detroit yesterday was a waste of time because Detroit was waiting on them. They spotted them again and then came back and won. Their coach lost their job as a result of that team's failure. I know that the Magic had injuries all year and they were trying to get it together, but you cannot blow a 24-point lead in the third quarter of a closeout game at home when you don't have when there's not a serious injury to do that. What you have to do what the Cavaliers did. The Cavaliers, after losing a close game that tied the series 3-3, they went home and took control and won their series. So now you have the Cavs will be playing the Pistons, the number 1 seeded team over in the East, and the Knicks, of course, are playing the Sixers. That's going to be an awesome series. Sports fans, weigh in. Tell me what you think about the Eastern Conference. Let's go over to the Western Conference. LeBron James continues to defy Father Time. Did I say defy? I mean totally defy Father Time. The man is 41 years old, 23 years into the in professional basketball, and he's the best player on the team that's in the semifinals. He's by far the best player that's remaining because Reeves is back, but Reeves is not taking that team over and taking them to their victories. It's LeBron James who's doing that. And you're talking to a Heat fan who Really didn't like the way he treated our administration and left the way he did. Kudos to him. He went to Cleveland and won that title. You just had to respect that. But he is now at this age, and I would like to just hear somebody say, is there another athlete past 40 or 41 years old that's as effective in any sport that they participated in as LeBron James is? I was a big fight fan. Ali, Frazier, Foreman, um, Sugar Ray, Leonard Hagler, Duran. I was a big fan of the fight game, but not too many of them. Fred Foreman was able to just stand still because of his sheer power and knock some people out, get a lucky punch in. But as far as actually at a prime, is I won't say LeBron's in his prime, but he's not too far off of it as the competition. Houston, who they beat 3-3, was it 3-2? Man, I just don't know about that. I hope Ime Udoka does not lose his job over that. Kevin Durant has not won a series playoff. He has not won a championship except with the Golden State Warriors. The closest he came to advancing towards a championship game was several years ago with the Brooklyn Nets, and people say it was the size of his shoe that caused what would have been a series-winning basket to be a two-pointer as opposed to a three-pointer. He hasn't done anything since then in a playoff. Or let me say this, he hasn't been able to take a team. LeBron James, on the other hand, when two of his stars went down, look what he has done. At the week before the playoffs, as a matter of fact, he took what was there. Even his son has stepped in, and they got an alley-oop basket in the other night. Remember, I ain't the biggest LeBron supporter. I respect his game. He's probably number 2 of all time. I have no problem saying that. The other game, which is the second game tonight, the Timberwolves and the Spurs. That's going to be one heck of an interesting series. Ant-Man is out. I understand he's been upgraded to a questionable status as opposed to being definitely out tonight. But we just don't know. That team showed remarkable resilience in just shutting the Joker down. Rudy Gobert, man, kudos to your defense. And I almost hated to see Jamal Murray with the game he played. And I was pulling for the T-Wolves. That was my team when I lived up north. We would go over there and see them play. Madam Producer would be right there with me. We were there when Kevin Garnett broke in. Kevin McHale sent Leitner packing. The headline says, "See you, Leitner." So I've got a history with the T-Wolves, but they proved themselves. There were some young Lions and some aggressive Lions, and they took down a powerful Denver team. Now, to their credit, Gordon was unavailable most of that series, but the job they did on Jokic and what they did on Murray the other night was almost just sad. I hated to see that. So we're going to see them now against Wembyana and those stars around on the outside. And that's going to be an athletic series. We're going to see how that comes out. It's going to see how strong can Rudy be, Gobert, how strong can he defend Wembyana? We know Rudy is not an offensive center, but can he help with assists? Can he help with pick and rolls and those kinds of things? That's going to be a very interesting series. Lakers, man, if y'all win 2, kudos to you. Because that Oklahoma City team, them right there are some lions, man. Them some dogs on defense, and they're very capable and credible on offense. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, that boy he's no longer a young pup. He is a superstar, a bona fide superstar, a classy one at that. So we're down to the final 4, and the 8, the final 8, and we'll give you updates on next week's dialogue. Some teams should be 2, maybe some heading towards a 3-game lead at that point, and we'll see how this thing is going to shape up maybe a little further. All right, so I want to talk about the movie Michael. It has, I don't know if you had a chance to see it. Hopefully we'll get a shot at it maybe tomorrow night. We'll get a chance to go see it. But let me tell you what it has done. That movie has now. Will I have a chance to do that? Yes. Um, it has now grossed. It's it's already the number two musical buyout ever. It has already grossed in 1 week. It's already grossed $300 million. $300 million. It's been so successful that they have already started developing Michael 2. I don't know what are they going to do with that. I don't want to give too much of the movie away from what I know about it. I don't know if that's going to be a sequel about the years up until his passing and his post passing. But that's what they're doing. Um, the reception is had mixed critical reviews, but just from the entertainment purposes, people have seemingly very much enjoyed um, Michael the movie. Um, it's kind of a sanitized narrative of a regular biography, but it has enough entertainment value to keep everybody's interest in the plot. Is fast moving. Um, it launched globally at $200 million right away, so it is really doing. Now, one of the controversies about Michael is that it doesn't deal with the allegations, and I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how you would feel about that. It doesn't deal with the allegations that were launched at him, and and the producer says that was because of legal reasons. Uh, they didn't deal with any of those things, but it has a great cast, and I see where Neil Long is contemplating or has launched a lawsuit because she was told that as the movie progressed, she would be making a salary for it, residuals or whatever that would be more commiserate with what the stars and playing Miss Jackson. You think she would be considered a star, but it's well on its way. And so I'll give you a better update when I've laid eyes on it before. I expect it to be better than the biop that came out. Well, it wasn't a biop, but the movie that came out after Michael passed. The tapes. I mean, the videos of the rehearsals and the behind the scenes of that. So we'll see. This his nephew playing the part, as you know, and I understand this kid did an outstanding job. Tomorrow night I'll be able to show you. Listen, I'm getting ready to show a video, and we're getting ready to get out of here. But you know what? Let's go ahead and do that video now. This kid, I'm slow to the dance. I understand. This is he has been doing this. This is not new, but it's been new to me. But it's so compelling. There's this kid that goes into. I say kid. He may be somewhat old as I am, but I doubt that. But he's moving up to his. He goes into Walmart stores and Sam's Clubs. And I saw him at a Publix store, and he's been to the Eiffel Tower. He goes to amusement parks, to carnivals, and other department stores. And what he does is that he goes in there, and now he has a troupe. He has some other people that have spawned out to dance with him. He'll go in there and he'll start a dance. I'm sure he has permission. I want to try to get him on the show. It would be so great getting him. And I know he has permission. And his camera crew follows him, and he engages the employees, but really the patrons of the store. He engages them, and I have not seen too many people who look disgusted or anything like that. It's very entertaining. His thing is joyous vibes, is what he calls what he does, and what I see, that's what it is. I know at some point there's going to be some legal issues or something like that. Oh, this kid was born in 2001. He is young, 25 years old. Those will be the kind of things that will happen. And he's a Floridian. He's African by the name. His name is Pa Gaizi Iko. I can't say the last name. Ansar. And I think that he's African. He's a TikTok sensation. He has over 1.4 million followers, and he started these Vibe videos in 2020 during the pandemic to counter the social distancing and the division that was going on from Washington and all of that kind of stuff. He has released a song. I won't call it here now, But he started out by going to Jacksonville State University, and kicked off their semester, and he just kind of took off from there. Became a social media sensation. You can catch him on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of the main, wherever you get your social media, you can see him. He's in Tampa. He's been featured on Fox 13's Good Day Tampa and Florida Tonight. And his thing is just, he spreads good vibe. Let's look at the video. I wanted to do a voiceover, but I didn't connect on that. Let's just look at that and see if we can get away with that.
Unmute.
He's entering a Walmart store. He's got some of his partners with him, his cast of characters. And you're going to see them engage. He's going to engage both patrons and staff. Bonafide, great dancer. All of them are great dancers. He even has one where there's a young lady that they're going and do together. Just he and the young lady. But let's look at the joyous reaction. I know some people say, "What's going on?" In some of his videos, he actually has a third cameraman that's behind the initial camera crew that follows him, and he films it so people can see the quality of work that he has. And it's so interesting that when he gets ready to push over, like relaying the camera action from him to one of his partners in crime, he just throws it in like that. And then when he wants that cameraman to go forward, he does that. He has a way of discreet that I've just seen so many videos now that I know what he's doing. Look at the joy. Look at the surprise. Look at the smiles. Look at the dancers being engaged with him, and you'll see just the joy. That's what it is about. And I'm sure during the pandemic, it must have had an incredible effect. Like I said, I'm slow to the party, but if this has half of the effect on me from a distance, watching on video that has for people who are going under the money, especially now. Judge, he's more threatening. You only always in it for a high five, but you will. You won't do the bump. You can simulate the bump, and whether it's contact, he simulates those. I'm wondering how far will he be able to do this? How far will he be able to get away with it and continue to entertain and create joy? The trade, he goes under the moniker Swisher 3X. Swisher, SWISHER 3X. So it's actually Swisher 3 times. He and some of those guys that are dancing with him, I've seen them have to go on their social media posts and so people hack their account. And I don't know if it's monetized and they're trying to get into the fanfare, the money, or whatever it's at stake. He's letting them know he put his glasses off because you don't see his food. And that little keeps with the joy factor, especially on the video for those of us who see it primarily our video. Listen, even if you do it after you have to look at your and keep some comments on. Go and look at your book for yourself and see what you think of him. We always do the other videos sometime at the end of the day, especially a slow entertainment night, because we just want to make sure that we see that this show, the dialogue, is well versed. So as I see it, so as I see it, we live well-rounded lives, right? So our day needs to be well-rounded, and this show tries to be well-rounded. We try to show news. Guy earlier said that I was, what do you call me, a liberal, something, some kind of liberal. Well, if I got to be liberal because I think an injustice is against a group of people, then I guess I am. You can put any name on me you want, progressive, liberal, whatever you want to do. But I'm about fairness for all people. I gave that administration its props And I have no problem giving them their props when they do right. But as I see it, there's a whole lot of stuff that's going on that does not look right to me. And I think if we were fair and objective, we say the same thing. Hey, there's a lot of sports going on, sports news, but I'm a basketball fan, so I'm kind of mashing down on the pedal and just wanting everybody to enjoy. I'm not there's one of the networks that has the basketball contract. I'm infuriated because you got to come out of it because it's an Apple. Most of our TV systems, you got to come out. You can't change stations and those kinds of things. You can't back it up easily and those kind of things. But anyway, I'm a fan of the game. I'm going to watch it wherever it's posted. And I hope you enjoy it too. And I hope you enjoy our commentary. Oh, I missed Jaylen Brown. We'll talk about him on next week. Jaylen Brown was very disgusted and he accused, yeah, we'll talk about him later. We missed it, but I missed it. We'll talk about him. But go out and see a movie. Enjoy yourself. Look at these videos. Enjoy this young man. There are other videos, the escrowages, and that's kind of a craze on social media. Take a chance and do some things that will bring smiles to your face. They made me smile and laugh last night when I was already in bed and sleepy and sleep, dropping the iPad, but waking up smiling when I saw those videos playing. Dialogue with Dozie. Thank you for joining us. Listen, we want you to go out and have the best week you've ever known to have for the balance of this week. Don't let none of this stuff get to you, but take appropriate actions. We love you, Dialogue with Dozie. We out.